You saw something you can't explain.
The movie opens with grainy camera footage depicting young girls held captive by individuals, seemingly part of a ritual for an entity known as the Low God. Disturbing footage follows, transitioning to Captain Walloran. He was the hero cop who raided the farm where cult leader John Malum and his followers held girls captive, intending to sacrifice them in a ritual. Later, we see two police officers engaged in a conversation when suddenly, Will blows female officer's head with a shotgun, and then he does the same with another cop. After a while, when other cops arrive and ask Will to surrender, he calmly requests them to tell Jessica and Diane that he loves them and that he is safe in the arms of his master. A year later, we see Jessica Lauren preparing for her first shift as a cop. She then visits her father's grave, where she encounters her mother Diane. Their conversation hints at a strained relationship between Jessica and Diane due to various reasons. After a brief exchange, Jessica leaves the gravesite, and as Diane departs as well, a satanic symbol made with blood behind Will's tombstone is revealed. Next, we see Jessica at the old police station, having volunteered for the shift as she wants to experience where her father worked, even if it's just for one night. When her senior officer Cohen learns she is Will's daughter, he becomes rude and says her father was a murderer, who killed his friends and then ate his shotgun. He questions her presence because he can't come up with a logical reason why she has requested this shift, to which she just says she is here to work. Jessica's real reason for being at the station is soon revealed by her actions. She's here to extract information about her dad's killing spree. She goes to the locker room and attempts to open her father's old locker but is startled by a noise resembling footsteps. Curious, she investigates the bathroom but finds no one. Just then, a ball bounces outside, prompting her to venture outside to further investigate. She discovers a basketball on the basketball court, and her attention is drawn to a silhouette. However, when she quickly turns on the lights, there is no one there. Just then, a bell begins ringing, and when Jessica goes to the gate, she finds an old man standing there. When she asks if he needs help, he bizarrely inquires about her baby girl. Jessica offers to call a shelter for him, but the man starts urinating on the gate and then unusually leaves the premises, leaving her bewildered. After cleaning up the mess, Jessica resumes her attempt to break the lock on her dad's locker, but her efforts prove unsuccessful. Just then, her phone rings, and when she answers, she hears the sound of a pig squealing, followed by a mysterious woman taunting her as Little Piggy. Jessica sternly tells the woman that prank calling a police station is illegal, but the mysterious caller continues to harass her before abruptly disconnecting the call. Jessica contacts the new police station and requests assistance in tracing the call. However, when the officer learns that she is Will's daughter, he expresses that they have many pressing matters to attend to, and tracing prank calls is not currently at the top of their priorities. Frustrated by the lack of cooperation, Jessica returns to the locker room and takes matters into her own hands by shooting open the drawer's lock. Inside, she discovers a crumpled newspaper clipping and a photo of herself with her dad. Upon closer inspection, she finds a hidden box, and when she checks it, she discovers a female sandal in it and a file containing details about the girls whom Will had saved from the farm. She also learns about John Malum and his satanic rituals, and the information reveals that the cult members refer to themselves as the flock of the Low God. Just then she hears the sound of a pig snorting, so she returns to the office and contacts the new station to inform them about a large pig tied outside. The officer suggests that she do nothing and stay inside for her safety, emphasizing that sending backup would be challenging in case anything happens to her. After disconnecting the call, Jessica bravely ventures outside to investigate and discovers a satanic symbol made on the back of the pig. She takes a photo of it and notices a name tag on its collar belt. Shockingly, the name on the tag is Betty, one of the girls who was sacrificed in the cult ritual. Taking pity on the pig, Jessica brings it inside the police station. As she exits the room, she hears noises coming from a particular area. Investigating further, she informs the new station that she is looking into a breaking and entering situation. She discovers an open door, closes it, and again hears a noise from behind her. And when she goes to that side to check, she finds that old man standing there and she tells him to get to the ground. The old man turns around, holding the female sandal in his hands, claiming not to know and struggling to remember. As he questions her about Betty, she decides to tase him, causing him to collapse. She then handcuffs and brings him to the holding area and discovers that the ceiling there is molded. Attempting to place him in a cell, the man becomes hesitant, claiming that she is present. Despite his resistance, Jessica forces him into the cell. However, as she does this, the door closes and locks on its own. Concerned, Jessica attempts to contact dispatch for assistance, but to her dismay, there is no response. Instead, she hears a haunting whisper saying, "She is still here." The man then begins shouting, due to which Jessica gets a bit scared, and the man tries to attack her as she turns on the flashlight. As the man retreats to a dark corner, Jessica searches for her flashlight. However, she hears the sound of the flashlight rolling away, and to her surprise, someone else turns on the flashlight. Initially thinking it's the man, Jessica becomes terrified when the flashlight moves toward him seemingly on its own. Suddenly, her dad's voice is heard, and the flashlight rolls towards her. When Jessica turns it on, a few ghostly bodies appear in front of her, disappearing moments later. She exits the cell, locks it, and calls Cohen, inquiring if he witnessed anything unusual during his shift. Cohen, still rude, asks her did she go into holding. When she confirms and tells him about the homeless man who broke into the station, Cohen informs Jessica that the holding area is covered in toxic black mold, known to induce hallucinations. After ending the call with Cohen, Jessica resolves to clean up the mess. During the cleanup, she discovers a horrifying sketch and some photographs. Through these findings, she learns about the Temple Baron, a pre-biblical demonic deity known as the Harbinger of the Damned. Jessica observes that the symbol on the photographs matches the one on the pig, and as she continues packing up the items, she comes across a pen drive within the belongings. As Jessica steps out to her car to retrieve her laptop, she becomes aware of another car stopping outside. To her shock, a man throws a woman out and speeds away. Jessica brings her inside the station to give her first aid. As she tends to the woman's wounds, the stranger reveals that her father was a cop. During their conversation, the woman shares a chilling account of an incident involving the mountain flock, claiming to have witnessed them hanging themselves in the next cell. Jessica counters, stating they died in an officer-involved shooting, but the woman bet that what she is telling is the truth, as she saw they had pillowcases over their heads and blood all over the walls. Suddenly, the woman stops, appearing to perceive something unseen by Jessica. Terrified, she starts a peculiar prayer, leaving Jessica bewildered. Jessica says she is going to call an ambulance, but the woman suddenly screams, due to which Jessica gets scared. But the woman gets normal and apologizes, saying she just drifted there for a moment. Jessica gets furious and asks the woman to leave the station. Following the woman's departure, Jessica receives a chilling phone call. A mysterious voice on the line issues a threat, warning that if Jessica ends the call, a girl named Monica Matthews will be killed. The caller claims that Jessica's father initiated something significant, and tonight, they intend to bring it to a conclusion. Jessica contacts the news station to report the kidnapping of Monica Matthews by the flock. The responding officer reveals that Monica Matthews disappeared from a party earlier that night, and two other girls, Julie Sims and Anna Cole, are also missing. These are the same three girls her father rescued a year ago. Jessica then connects the pen drive to her system and attempts to watch the bizarre video. The footage depicts a woman brutally assaulting another with a baseball bat, and Jessica gets disturbed watching it. She then receives a call from her mother, and the video on the laptop begins playing on its own. Diane questions Jessica what she is listening to and instructs her to turn it off immediately. Despite Jessica's attempts to stop it, the video continues, and a woman in the footage addresses Jessica by name. Jessica gets shocked to see her live footage on the screen, but the Jessica in the video gets up from her seat and throws that box on the floor. When real Jessica checks the box, she finds a paper target there, with "Still Here" written on it. Curious, Jessica goes to the shooting range, where the targets start moving automatically, and then a paper target appears in front of her on which the same symbol is drawn. As she takes that paper down, she gets haunted by a malevolent entity, and the entity follows her as she tries to flee. She tries to leave the station but finds the door locked, and the reflection of her dad appears on the glass. Jessica gets terrified and calls the news station to inform them that they chain the doors and she is trapped here. The officer assures her that he will get a unit over there ASAP with some bolt cutters and asks her to calm down. She asks him did John Malum died in here, to which he says he wasn't there, but he has heard rumors. Desperate to leave, Jessica pleads for assistance, but the officer insists on her involvement due to the urgency of 3 missing girls, hoping she can contribute to resolving the case. After disconnecting the call, she continues watching the video, in which Will is seen interrogating John Malum and his female followers, and Malum says he is going to come back for him and all he loves. She notices that Will gets up seeing something behind Malum and leaves the room, and when she replays and watches it closely, she's horrified to identify a demonic presence behind Malum. Jessica then wakes up in a morgue, where she is surrounded by the dead bodies of Malum and 2 female cult members, and she hears someone whistling the Low God song. Soon after, the dead bodies of Malum and the girls begin moving, and Jessica gets terrified seeing this. She cries for help, but when the coroner arrives, he's attacked and killed by cult members, and the cult members leave with Malum's body. Despite her fear, Jessica opens the bag and gets up, only to be haunted by a mysterious presence, and she finds herself back in her office. She is then visited by Officer Price and Hudson about the person in custody. While Hudson goes to fetch the man, Price reveals that Jessica's father was once a hero but took a turn. When Jessica asks about that day, Price explains that her father wasn't acting normal. Price regrets not informing the chief but admits to repeatedly watching an interrogation video where he claims to have seen something unusual. The day before Will's actions, he warned Price not to enter the holding because John Malum was still there. He then takes her to the locker room and shows her Will's shotgun, which her father wanted to be destroyed with the rest of the building. He then keeps it back but turns with a blown head, and Jessica finds herself in a place where Malum and his cult members are present. Malum is holding a child in his arms and he baptizes the child with his blood, and to Jessica's horror, she recognizes her mother and realizes the child is her younger self. She wakes up in her office to the sound of that old man shouting to be released. Jessica hurries to the source, discovering the key on the floor. She sees Hudson aiming a gun at the man, and as she unlocks the door, the man makes a quick escape. While leaving, he hears Betty's voice saying she wants to go home. Spotting a sandal in front of a cell, he picks it up and unlocks the door. Simultaneously, Jessica calls her mom, informing her that she's at the old police station where her dad worked, and asks her to call back as soon as she gets the message. Meanwhile, the pig gets released from the cell and reaches Jessica's office, but turns out to be a creature that begins moving towards Jessica. Jessica tries to escape and manages to get out of there, but the creature follows her, prompting Jessica to shoot it. However, she realized it was the pig she rescued. Just as the bell rings, Jessica finds her mom at the door and lets her in. When Jessica asks her about everything that's happening, Diane reveals that she left Jessica's father when she was pregnant because John found her. He came knocking, claiming the baby would be part of something significant, and she believed him. After Jessica was born, Diane saw disturbing things and felt the need to keep her as far away as possible. Her dad saved them, and they left their lives behind. But a year ago, John found them again. He wanted them back, and although it stopped him, John had other plans. When Jessica questions what she was supposed to be part of, Diane spots Will behind Jessica and moves towards that direction. Jessica follows her to her office, and upon hearing a woman shouting, she urges her mom to lock the door and stay inside. Jessica discovers a woman holding a girl at gunpoint, who warns Jessica to holster her gun or she'll kill the girl. Jessica inquires about the woman's motives, and she reveals that John wants Jessica. However, she needs power for this ritual and there is power in spilling blood. She then shoots the girl, prompting Jessica to shoot that woman, and then numerous cult members rush towards Jessica, closing in to capture her. Jessica manages to escape and returns to her office, only to find her mom missing. Suddenly, the phone rings, and the person on the line assures Jessica they'll get her out and asks if her mom is safe. Alarmed, Jessica questions how he knows her mother is there, and it is then revealed that the person on the line is John Malum. Jessica asks him, "Where is her mother?" To which he responds, "A vessel must be chosen by its passenger." He explains that he was chosen when he was a boy, and tonight, the low god finally arrives. Suddenly, Jessica feels a presence behind her and gets startled, and when she comes out to investigate, she discovers it's the old man. She questions why he's back and demands to know where her mother is. Abruptly, the demonic man rushes toward her, forcing Jessica to shoot and kill him. The police station is then raided by Malum's followers, and Jessica discovers one of the missing girls. As she approaches, she is horrified to see the girl hanging above a satanic symbol. She is then interrupted by Officer Price and Hudson, and Jessica hears a woman wailing. She discovers a man stabbing a girl, prompting Jessica to shoot him down, but unfortunately, the girl is fatally injured, and despite Jessica's efforts to save her, the girl tragically succumbs to her injuries. She then encounters her dad, who tells her she doesn't belong in that uniform. Jessica questions how he could hurt all those people, and he responds that he's a cop, and that's what cops sometimes have to do. Suddenly, a follower shoots at her, and Will disappears. Jessica goes outside, kills one of the members, and attempts to save another girl. Unfortunately, as she tries to help, the girl's head gets ripped off by the rope from which she was hanging. Following this, Jessica hears her mom calling for help. She rushes to the locker room, grabs her dad's shotgun, and heads towards the basement. There, she encounters demonic female cult members covered in blood, singing the Low God song. Guided by one of the cult members, Jessica enters a room where she finds her mom sitting on a throne. Jessica approaches her and uncovers her face, only to find that it is John Malum in his demonic form. Jessica gets terrified and retreats, and she finds the cult members standing behind her. After this, everyone steps aside, and the demon they call the Low God finally reveals itself. The cult members declare that Jessica's spirit will feed the demon. Jessica shoots at the demon, but it remains unaffected. The demon then confronts her, throws its face at Jessica, and suddenly, she finds herself standing in the hallway, faced with the demon. Jessica fires at the demon, causing it to collapse, but then she realizes it is her mother. As Jessica weeps with heartbreaking pain and apologizes to her mother, the dead followers of Malum crowd behind her and hysterically laugh at Jessica's fate, while in front of her, Will clutches his dead wife's body and anguishes. Jessica repeats the code of honor for cops that she chanted whenever panic set in and then blows her brains out. Her body is dragged away by two entities, and she finds herself sitting beside Malum in a makeshift chair. And as she wakes up, the movie ends. Thanks for joining us on our horror movie recap adventure. If you enjoyed the chills, subscribing would mean a lot. Drop a comment to share your thoughts and keep the terror alive. Stay spooky and see you soon.